You can try to be first, but at the same time, being first, you can make the first mistakes, right? And you will spend most of the time to fix these mistakes. So if you want to be first, you really should be expert in this market, and know all the risks and have kind of mitigation strategies. And it's not always on the tech side. It's about this compliance, knowing players, knowing their habits, knowing how to do proper player experience.
This podcast is sponsored by Pragmatic Solutions, the player account management platform chosen by today's smart betting and gaming operators. Don't let technical constraints delay you from achieving your business goals. Expand your business, boost your margins, and dominate the market in any leading regulated jurisdiction with our powerful, flexible, and secure iGaming platform. Enjoy its extensive marketing tools, compliance protection, real-time data, and a wide portfolio of over 1,000 industry providers. It's time to upgrade your technology. Let Pragmatic Solutions show you the modern approach. Visit pragmatic.solutions and join the smart thinkers.
This podcast is brought to you by Pragmatic Play, a leading game developer providing player favorites to the most successful brands across the industry. With an award-winning multi-product portfolio of slots, live casino, bingo, virtual sports, and more, Pragmatic Play is powering up new possibilities of play through one single API. Visit pragmaticplay.com and discover your favorite every time.
Denis Romanovskiy, Deputy CTO of SOFTSWISS. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Thank you a lot. Doing great. It's a great day today. Sunny and nice.
That's what we were promised when we moved to Malta here. The 387 Sundays a year, whatever it was they said. But we are lucky to live on this little island, that's for sure. We have a really interesting discussion in front of us today, Denis. And the SOFTSWISS has recently published this report that kind of teaches potential new operators of the very first and maybe the most important question that they will face when they are setting up their new operator company, which is what platform to choose, but more importantly, are we choosing to buy a platform or build a platform? I.e., should you work with someone like SOFTSWISS or should you build the technology in-house? And so I wanted to just start off by asking you the question, why did SOFTSWISS decide to put together this report? Why is that an important question?
Yes, I think that we wanted to guide the new operators in this journey, how they can easily and safely grow, right? And we wanted them to avoid typical mistakes, and we want them to understand what kind of complexities and costs they may meet when they in this journey. So the idea is that this guide is quite simple, easy to comprehend, and it has good structure that lets you very easily understand that you probably should think about your strategy, then think about your budget, think about what kind of options you have, and you have clear kind of rules how to choose the right option.
Yeah, no, brilliant, Dennis. And what I found interesting with the guide or the report, as you say, is that there are actually instances where operators do have a good argument, let's say, to build their own platform, like say, which I think is interesting, considering that it's SOFTSWISS that are right in the report. But I want to ask you, like, what are the key findings, do you think, in the report? It's a 50-page report, by the way, that we'll obviously link to in the episode. But if you were to summarize the report, what are the key findings?
The key findings of this report are related to the questions whether you should buy or you should build. And in most of the cases, if you're a new operator, probably you should buy, because there are a lot of complexities in the world of iGaming. Yeah, and nowadays iGaming solution is kind of big it's complex. It includes a lot of different entities, a lot of technologies, and many teams, probably even around the world, who work together to bring the player the user experience. And if you're a new player on the market, start with best practice, learn the market, learn the product, the technology, and then as you get good track record, as you get stable revenue, think about the next steps. Probably the next steps should be about adding more customization into your solution, trying some experiments here and there, continue to grow, and then at some point, maybe when you have multiple brands from maybe even multiple different providers, you will understand something on the market better than the others, and you will be ready to create your own platform and deliver it. And that's be sure that it can take a year, maybe even a couple of years, and the budget will be rather high for that. And this report, it explained these complexities so that it's just not the numbers, but it also tells you what is the structure of these costs, so that it's easier to comprehend them.
Right. So if I understand it correctly, summarizing the report, it's kind of like the first question is, are you experienced enough as a new operator? Do you have the capital enough to even consider to build your own technology? Are you aware of the time frame that it takes and the potential pain points that come later and the upkeeping of the platform and so on and so forth? And then also comparing that to the more advanced platforms like SOFTSWISS that are just so far ahead with so many years of development and complexity around them that you can get access to from day one, kind of thing. And that brings me to the next question, which is, I imagine that many operators that come to SOFTSWISS that are interested in launching a brand together with SOFTSWISS might not always have that experience. Let's say they could be new entrepreneurs that are interested in the space, or someone that are coming into the market that haven't been running an operator before, who kind of potentially underestimate some of these challenges. So I want to ask you, Denis, what are generally the biggest mistakes that new operators make when they launch together with SOFTSWISS, or what are the most common misconceptions, let's say, that new customers bring to you?
Right. So we're talking about the new operators, and usually a new operator has some kind of great ideas how they want to be unique, how they can attract traffic from maybe new sources. They have a good budget, and they're really motivated to move fast. Yeah, and then they look at the reality, and reality is more complicated, because nowadays, these iGaming solutions are very complex, and building something from scratch, or building something even customized with a platform, it's a lot of effort, and you just can't try to estimate cost. Software cost estimation is it's a science, probably, and it's not predicting well yet. So there are many failed projects in software because of poor estimating. And even with that, if you estimate the cost for development, then there are many hidden costs that you may not see from the first sight. Even if you make some kind of best practice solution, turnkey solution. Yeah, so the main problem is underestimating the costs, and the best way to do is, to have some kind of buffer to minimize these customizations, to go with best practice when you start. This way you can very quickly get to the market. You can very quickly see how the players start to make first deposits. Do they retain? Do they keep with your brand, or they go away? And then you will understand, okay, maybe my idea is not the best, maybe I need to adjust something. And if you have kind of buffer, you can do this, you can still get to success, you can repeat success, and probably scale. So the first thing is underestimation, but it's not the only thing. We can also talk about neglecting testing and neglecting funnel and data tracking. So the operators, especially if they build some kind of custom front end, or build some custom features, especially in player registration, in KYC, in payment systems. If they do it themselves and they want some unique user experience, they should test everything to the bone. Yeah, and if they do not understand the importance of that, they can get into a situation where they already start to push traffic, and in some certain place, for some particular kind of players, they will not be able to register them, because, for example, one tiny field with phone number may not work well because of the validation, yeah, and that can be a big hit and a big problem. So test everything. And the second thing, how do you understand where something broke? This is where you need funnel tracking, and you need to look through all the steps of your player journey to understand where it can, where the player can just move out, yeah, and see, okay, maybe something is wrong with registration, maybe something wrong with some kind of payment system, and focus there, quickly fix the problem, and make the final showing good metrics, yeah, and see that your GGR is growing. So those things are really important, and those are the main mistakes of the operators if they are new operators, right? They think that they just take the turnkey solution, put it, invest in the traffic, and everything will just work smoothly. But no, you need to track everything, you need to go into details and react to every issue until it is repeating, it is growing, and you can turn to the next thing and grow your brand.
Yeah, brilliant. And so again, it just points to this fact that in order to kind of launch a new successful operator business, you need to be aware of all these like incredibly detailed potential issues that can collapse the entire organization. Like you said, if it's such a simple thing as the telephone number box is not working, you're going to lose players in that commercial funnel, for example. But I want to kind of reverse the question a bit, Denis. In your opinion, are there cases where it is better to build yourself rather than to buy a platform, would you say?
Right. Well, if we're talking about building from scratch, then it's a very special case. This is when you are kind of strong operator, you are maybe educate on the market, and you have multiple brands, they are successful, they bring you stable revenue streams. They probably from different platform providers, and you have a vision how to make it better. You have a budget, you have a team. You don't really think about fast time to market. You're thinking that okay, it's probably a year or two to make it right. Yeah, then you think about technology, yeah, and do you have good technology partners, or do you build this technology team yourself? Is your team capable? Did they do anything similar in past? Well, if you can answer to most of these questions yes, then probably you can go into this story. Probably that's the right way.
Yeah, brilliant. So it's kind of like if you're like a tier one major operator with the experience in the back end, you probably need a very technical CEO, not only CTO, but also a CEO who have that vision, let's say, of understanding how this kind of custom technology can bring you success in the future. That would be kind of the case where you should then potentially consider to go through all of the headache, let's say, of building your own platform.
Yes. You should be really involved a lot, because it's not only technical question, it's also a product question, and it's also business, and the market is changing. The preferences of players are changing, compliance is changing, and you should, track everything and guide your technical team so that they don't do something that is already not worth it doing. Yeah, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of kind of tracking what's going on around, and it's very risky.
Yeah, brilliant. So then I imagine, okay, let's say you take the decision then, okay, I recognize that I need to choose the right platform. There are hundreds of platforms of the industry today. It's very difficult to get a deep understanding of everything that is available on the market in order to take a right decision, especially in a short period of time. In the guide, there is kind of like a checkbox thing where you can ask a few really important questions in order to identify the right platform for your business. So can you talk about this? And it's like, how do you choose the right platform when there's a sea of platforms out there?
Well, this is not a simple question. Criteria can be really complicated. I would try to generalize a little bit, and I would start with, first look at the provider. Look at, the market. The iGaming market is kind of not stable. The pace of change is very high, and there are different movements. Things change very quickly, and not many of these platform providers survived for enough time, for long enough time. And first of all, look at those who survived for maybe like a decade, right? Then, understand who are their partners and who worked with them. What kind of brands did they build, and are these brands are still there? Right? Did these brands grow? Are they successful? And do they also have kind of older brands, new brands, that their portfolio, is full? So look from these standpoints. Then the reputation, of course. So what people say about this platform provider, this is also very important. Then, you look at this, at their product portfolio, at their roadmaps, and at their technical stack. And it's important that if you look at the tech stack, that it's kind of not maybe simple, but it should be maybe even complex, because nowadays we have to develop very quickly, right? But at the same time, sometimes we need to develop something very efficiently, right? And good technology companies, they combine multiple technologies. For example, we combine Ruby on Rails for fast business logic development, and we take Golang for some places where you need scalability, a lot of scalability, and efficient fast computation. So this kind of point, culture. So if you are a kind of new operator that's ready for changes, and you want to move quickly, you want to change quickly, you want to get a lot of feedback on how you work, what you do, then probably you need to find a partner who shares these values, right? For example, SOFTSWISS, we kind of we say embrace the change. Our operators every day come with new ideas, and we talk about it, we discuss it, we look for the ways to satisfy them, with what we have, and some ideas from our side. There are many other things, like to the platform provider train their people, let them grow, and do the people retain for a long time with their companies. So it's about culture, and just see that their culture fits your culture. This is very important. And maybe the last is service. Service is also very important, because if you have problems and they are not answered for a long time, you are not guided how to do things properly, your requests for new features are not supported, and you basically stuck, then probably this is not the right provider. At least they should have all this, L1, L2, L3 services on technical support. They should have SLAs, and they should have the right cultural approach to really support the operator, not just enter to their problems, but ask, hey, how are you doing? How can I help you? How can I improve your business? So I think that's it.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I find it interesting that when you choose a so important technology provider, it's not only perhaps about asking what are the latest and most advanced features, but it's almost like a job interview where you look backwards and you try to get clues of how good this platform provider is by looking at success stories of the past, as you mentioned, what successful brands have built with this platform. Have this provider always delivered in the past? What is the reputation of the provider? It's like going into a job interview. You want to see that you're working with a trustable person, basically, and the same thing in this case.
And if you look through all these criteria, you will understand that there are really not that many providers that can fit into this.
Right.
And the list will be probably very small.
Yeah, and so even though there are a lot of platform providers out there today, there are also a lot of previous platform providers that have not succeeded, that have gone bankrupt, right? And that's the last thing you want, I imagine, when you launch a new operator, is that just one day from the other that the platform provider goes bankrupt or something. Then that can really disrupt your operation, of course. So let's look forward then rather than backwards and talk about scalability again. If we think about the buy versus build question that some operators will have, another then important point to think about then again is scalability. The operation grows. Can the platform sustain that growth in the future, and can the platform scale? So what would be the considerations in this buy versus build question if you think about scalability?
Well, if you look at the platform providers, most of them are now found a way to resolve this issue of scalability. But there are nuances about it, and you can sit on really best of the best cloud provider who can give you all the scalability that you might need. But how to make it efficient, how to make it proactive, and there are very small bottlenecks. I've seen many systems that are on top cloud providers, but still because of some architecture issues and not being in the field of a lot of traffic that are pushing you today, they still had bottlenecks and their applications were down. But sometimes even not the perfect technology, but understanding well your systems, your applications, you could provide such experience that your system absorbed traffic well and they didn't show any problems on the user experience. So I think it's not only about technology, but it's about people, their experience to work with high load and a lot of traffic. And this is where I think SOFTSWISS has a lot of experience. We especially worked with lots of clients who have high spikes of traffic, right? So that everything goes smoothly, it's okay, and on average the traffic is small, but at some point you've got hundreds of thousands registrations, and you should be able to support that. And then if this spike goes well, then the operator will be successful through the next couple of months because they got the players, they then can retain them and can work with them.
Brilliant on that side, Denis. And that also leads me into the next question, which is also related to scalability. And the ecosystem itself within the industry is really important too. You at the end of the day, you don't just need a platform, right? There are many other technology solutions that you need to run your business effectively as well. And I think the argument that you guys make in the report is that once you come on board on SOFTSWISS as a platform, there's a whole suite of products that can easily be plugged into your operation to make the life easier, let's say, from the operator. So can you talk about then the advantage that you have of offering a full ecosystem of products to your customers?
Well, to make it simple, I would like to give you an analogy. Imagine that you are buying an Apple laptop and from the other side you are buying kind of other laptop but with Windows operating system. In the first option, you buying the operating system and hardware fully integrated. Apple can choose the best hardware and software that fit together the best possible way, and it can test it in all of the kind of the options, because they know what they can even happen in many situations, right? But if you are a company that just provides the hardware and then you put Windows on it, you're limited in your understanding of abilities of this operating system, and sometimes you don't have all the details that you have as a Apple company, because you build the hardware, you build the software yourself, and the level of optimization is much higher. And because of that, your laptop has more power, it has more battery time, it has more durability. It works like for 5, 10, even 10 years. Yeah, I have still a laptop that I bought many years ago. Yeah, and most of the Windows laptops, they don't live than maybe like 5 years maximum, and they already have problems with battery and so on. So this is the same that is happening with the companies. And SOFTSWISS, we really do a lot to integrate our technologies together and the people around them. And for example, on the infrastructure side, we use kind of approach of hybrid cloud, public cloud, private cloud, and we use a lot of our own tools to build the infrastructure. At the same time, we build the software and we integrate the stuff to get the maximum optimization and to ensure fault tolerance and high availability. Yeah, we can do it. And our service teams work with the same set of technologies and infrastructure. They learn the advantages of disadvantages of these architectures, and they know how to fix issues. Yes, we monitoring everything, and whenever they see this is kind of situation that can in the future lead to the problem, they already know what to do because everything is integrated. And because we are ecosystem and we provide like full experience around iGaming brand, we can do this in the best possible way from technical standpoint.
Brilliant. And can you mention some of the products that SOFTSWISS offer and what they are?
All right. Yeah. So starting from casino platform, this is really just a platform. Yeah, that can be integrated with a game aggregator, that can be integrated with sportsbook, with jackpots, with a Filka, with FinTech Hub. Yeah, so it's the games, all the content of the games, it's payment systems, it's sportsbook, it's a list of different engagement tools like jackpots, and it's the traffic, a Filka. Yeah, so yeah, we kind of create this ecosystem, and all the data moves inside of this ecosystem. And yeah, we also have a couple of different reporting tools. We now have Bambi, where you can build special reports for your brands. Yeah, it's all inside. It all works together. It's very efficient, even not from the just technical standpoint and availability, but also from the cost point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, brilliant. And that's kind of leads me into a separate question also. It's the cost efficiency. Is it financially viable for an operator to integrate all the tool, the entire ecosystem of SOFTSWISS?
Well, my point on this that we kind of propose a turnkey solution in these cases, because if you start, it can be too complicated, and you might need a lot of stuff just to be able to run it. So our proposal in turnkey solution is a set of best practices, and it's a kind of template solution that is easy to set up, and we can provide a lot of guidance on it, and we can tell the operator what kind of people they need, and how they should start, what should be their first, second, third step. Yeah, and this way we help them, let's say, survive first half of a year. But yeah, if they they have like zero experience, it will be a very hard time for them for sure. So we of course will do our best to support them, and technically and from the product side, from support side, but they also should really work a lot with the data, learn and adjust their strategy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just that the tools of the great tools of SOFTSWISS will save the business. You also have to have some business sense as an operator to understand how to create those margins at the end of the day. Another question is on the speed to market in this buy versus build question. So if you were to estimate, Denis, what is the fastest that you can get to market if you decide to build a product? And also what would be the fastest go to market by integrating SOFTSWISS, for example, like if you compare the two?
The fastest way is to know what you want. And sometimes this is not what we see exactly from some operators. They want, to consider different things, different options. They get time to think. And yes, if you want really fast time to market, so try to figure out your strategy. And it should include like what kind of traffic sources you're going to use, what kind of content you need, what are your payment systems. So basically decide about these minimal things. Then understand what kind of turnkey solution can there be, how simple it can be, and what are the templates. Yeah, template is a set of best practices, how it looks, how it feels, how it works. And this will really save a lot of time for you to start. Then of course there is paperwork. Yeah, it's hard to predict. But nowadays with the new technologies, it can be a matter of maybe a month or two to go live. Yeah, we even now experiment with faster timelines. Yeah, and we see that there is such request from the market, and in the future it will be quite feasible. But there is always paperwork and these compliance questions that you also have to go through.
Yeah, exactly. And I imagine that a lot of customers are asking for that very short time to market new markets that are popping up, that are becoming hot, and so on and so forth. And you operators, the sooner they can go live, obviously the earlier they are live, and the more money they can earn. So I imagine that is always something you guys are thinking about, how to shorten that window.
Well, yes, and new markets. For example, if these markets have new regulation, there are many unknowns about this regulation, and you can rush, you can try to be first, but at the same time, being first, you can make the first mistakes, right? And you will spend most of the time to fix these mistakes. So if you want to be first, you really should be expert in this market. Yeah, and know all the risks and have kind of mitigation strategies. And it's not always on the tech side. It's about this compliance, knowing players, knowing their habits, knowing how to do proper player experience in this area. Yeah.
And then there's the last question I have for you here today. It's just kind of looking forward into the future now of the SOFTSWISS platform itself and the suite of products. What does your roadmap look like? What are some of the interesting things that you have ahead now? What are you working on? What keeps you busy during the day, Denis, when you think about the future development of the platform and the different products?
So I will be answering more from the technical standpoint. Yeah. Well, we are in a long story of building our entire ecosystem more like interconnected set of applications. So basically, let's say we want that all of our products are a set of smaller applications that live in their pieces of infrastructure, yeah, and that we can combine these pieces together to create new products, and new experiences for the players. For example, if you need just a couple of pieces of platform, yeah, and you need a sports book, you don't need the game, so how can you quickly assemble into a new product and deliver this to the new market? Yeah, so we try to modularize our application components as much as possible, so that we can very quickly adjust to the needs of the markets where we work, to the new markets, and quickly bring value to the operators. That's one of the way to go. The second thing is about probably artificial intelligence. This is really a big disruptor. We don't know yet how it will exactly disrupt the tech. I mean, the developers and engineers in general. We use a lot these AI tools now that help you to generate code. Even, we had some good experiments where we could generate kind of almost biggest part of a single service. Yeah, we see that in the future, probably we will have fully autonomous team that work as these agents that they will produce the code, and it's probably something that will let you very quickly build things, make more experiments, and change this problem with time to market for the operators who want more customization. Now it's all long time to market, because you really need to write code and to test it. If you can automate it in the future, you will really improve it. So this is potential what can happen like in a matter of couple of years. Those are the main things. And we always work with our current problems. And the current problem is that we have a lot of different integrations, a lot of different partners who we work with, and not everything works smoothly, because some hardware breaks from time to time, some integrations break, and how can we be like absolutely fault tolerant? Yeah, this is our kind of dream. And what we do, we work a lot with our faults. Especially, we work a lot with production incidents and with monitoring tools. So, if we get a problem and something is, not working as it is supposed to do, we have a very strong team that, breaks it to the bone to understand what is the root cause of the problem, and from that we look for best ways to improve our architecture, infrastructure, and to improve our organization and process, so that in the future we never can experience the same problem again. And this is one of these drivers that really helps to innovate, to improve, and to grow. So that's it.
Brilliant. Denis, thank you so much for the masterclass in these very important questions that the operators are facing in their very first day of life, which is whether to buy or build a platform, and on which platform to choose. It's been a pleasure to get to know you, and thanks so much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me. I hope that this report and this conversation really help the new operators to make better decisions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.